From Peterson Event Center in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, this is TarHeelIllustrated.com. I am THI publisher Andrew Jones. And don't mind the noise in the background because the Syracuse women's team are practicing because they play here tomorrow afternoon against Pittsburgh. Earlier today, North Carolina lost for the fourth straight time and the second time to Pittsburgh in the last 10 days. Three things from this game I want to pull out. And like I've said many times this year, there are a lot of things to pull out, but we're going to narrow it down to three here in this one. First, turnovers. The Tar Heels were awful taking care of the ball in the first half. They turned it over 11 times, leading to 18 Pitt points. In fact, there was a point in time, a stretch in the game, where Carolina had a lot more turnovers than they actually had field goals, and even more turnovers than they had points. In fact, in the first half, Pitt scored 18 points off Carolina turnovers. The Tar Heels, all told, only had 23 points. So what happened basically was Pitt said after the game, some of the Pitt players said after the game, that with Carolina running a lot more sets, those box sets and everything else, they felt that if they could force it out some, push it out, force Leaky Black and the Tar Heels to start the offense a little bit further out, that they could affect a lot of their shots, contest a lot more of them, and get into the passing lanes. Armando Bacot said that's exactly what Pitt did as well, and it worked. Panthers had forced 11 turnovers in the first half, 7 steals, and then there were a bunch of walks as well, all contested situations for the Tar Heels, and it led to those 18 points. And the Tar Heels didn't shoot the ball well either. In fact, on their second possession, they had a 5-point play. Garrison Brooks scored an alley-oop from Andrew Platek. He was fouled, missed a free throw, it was tapped out to Leaky Black. He stepped into a 5-point play. Tar Heels, I don't think, have had but maybe one other 5-point play this year. The problem is, over the next nearly 11 minutes, they scored 6 points. So in the first 12 minutes and 3 seconds of the game, they had the 5-point play, and then they had 6 points, and they had 11, and they were down by a big margin. In fact, at one point, Pitt's margin in the first half was 23 points at 40-17. The Panthers led 43-23 at halftime, and Roy Williams said afterward, the turnovers put them behind. The turnovers leading to the points kind of put the Tar Heels in a hole that they couldn't recover from. Another problem with the Tar Heels today was defensively, and this has been an issue for a while now. It wasn't so much an issue the first few weeks of the season, but it has become one. In fact, today, just like in the last game in the second half against Pitt, Panthers were getting whatever they wanted. Stuff at the rim, drives, threes, pull-up jumpers in the lane. It got to the point where, at one point during the first half, Pitt was 5 of 10 from three-point range for the game, and Roy Williams went to a zone. He did it because he had to do something. And after the game, he said, look, I'm trying to do something. Had to do something. Tar Heels trap some. They play a lot of zone. They even applied a full court press, if you will, a couple of times. Nothing seemed to work, even though in the second half, Pitt only scored 23 points and shot a much lower field goal percentage. But the damage was done by halftime. It was a 20-point game. And for the second time in the last 4 games, the Tar Heels trailed at the half by 20. They trailed Georgia Tech at home 47-27, today 43-23. When you're giving up that many points, the offense isn't taking care of the ball, the defense isn't getting stops, and that's obviously a recipe for a 4-game losing streak. Third point I want to make is the fact that this team is now 8-9. The last time they had a losing record, I believe, was after the season opener in 2004-05. That team later won a national title. This team's not winning a national title. Right now, they just need to get a win. They need to kind of save face. They need to kind of shake the tree and see if they can make something of the regular season, whether it's make a push to the postseason, which appears unlikely at this time, or play the role of spoiler. They're going to get Cole Anthony back. He made the trip today. He was out doing his thing during warm-ups in a suit, and Roy said afterward that they're getting close, but they don't want to rush him back. Jeremiah Francis also played today, but he's got a lingering knee problem, and Roy said it's actually something more specific than just lingering soreness. So Tar Heels are going to have to navigate through that until Cole Anthony can come back, and that means a banged-up Jeremiah Francis at the point, Leaky Black, who's playing out of position at the point, and there's no other option. So when going back to the first point, Pitt being able to force the offense out some, other teams are going to do the same thing. So it's going to be really difficult for the Tar Heels to score a lot of points and win games if they don't get stops. And you get to 8-9 by not running good offense, by not running effective offense, by not being effective on the defensive end. And the crazy thing is Carolina, the one thing that this team is doing well, that past teams have done well, is they're a pretty good rebounding team, and they had a 24-7 edge on the offensive glass today. But they've been so poor on the offensive, defensive ends of the court, that stat almost game in and game out now hasn't even mattered that much. It hasn't helped them win games. So the Tar Heels need to get down to basics on both ends of the floor, and obviously getting Cole Anthony will be huge. They're 8-9 overall, 1-5 in the ACC. They go to Blacksburg on Wednesday. We will be there. We're going to be there on through the rest of the season to see what this team makes of it. But right now, 4-game losing streak with the team playing essentially worse each game, or at least losing games in more demoralizing ways. It's not a tea leaf that suggests that this thing is going to turn in the right direction anytime soon. I'm Andrew Jones. You've been watching TarHeelIllustrated.com. Don't forget to check out our site. We've got a ton of coverage from this game. Got a lot of other stuff going on, football recruiting, basketball recruiting, you name it, on TarHeelIllustrated.com. Don't forget to click like on this video. Hit that bell so you get all the notifications every time we upload the video. Thanks.